Well, hello, my YouTube fellas and gals. Oh my goodness, it took me forever to get up here to get these done. So I got to miss the last Wednesday, and I'm so sorry. Let me share this up. I know there's a lot of people that say if you share your stuff out, um, people come in, but I never have that issue. Hey, John, hold on a second. I'm trying to share myself out here. Let me get me on Facebook. Hey, Josh. Well, welcome in. And how are you? You look like you have a variety channel. I'm checking people out. Let me get my little hugs in here. Happy New Year, everybody. I was actually sick with the flu right after Christmas. It was just awful. And man, I'm telling you, it takes forever to recuperate. The older you get, the longer it takes. And so I didn't get a chance to be here the last Wednesday of December to read the last set of letters. And I didn't get to finish my Christmas journal. I am so far behind. But when you're sick, you're sick. And I don't know about you all, but I feel like when I get sick, it takes longer to get over it. And I feel so fatigued, like really tired. Okay. So we're going to continue with the last set. And she wrapped them in purple. And for those new to my channel who come and listen, these are World War II letters that I started last year in the month of December. And let's see, July, June, July. I don't know if I put these in order or not. I probably didn't. I think what she did, they go like this. I'm going to try to put them in order, which makes sense because she read them and then piled them. So we're going to try to put these in the right order since this is the last set. But anyways, his name is William. Her name is Elsie. And the letters started out as they were dating. He's in the Navy, and it's the World War II era. And then they got married. They were out of California. I tried to track some more information about them, whether they had kids or whatnot, and I just couldn't get information. This came from a locker. Hey, Canal. Welcome in. And I don't know what all was sold off. I just know that I got a hold of the letters in an auction because the family didn't want them. I wished I would have known if there were pictures because it'd have been cool to have like the photo album too. But sometimes pictures go for a lot higher. So I got what I could afford in the auction, and I love these letters. So that's what we're going to finish reading the last pile of them tonight. But it was a lot. It's like at least 2 hours worth, and it was every Wednesday last December, every Wednesday this December. That's how many letters I have from these two, and tonight will be the last set, and I am going to miss them. So we shall start with the first letter, but I wanted to share their story because I think it needed to be shared. And these letters are cool because sometimes he puts like programs in them, sometimes jokes. I have no clue what's in these until you see them with me. This is the Daily Target. Sometimes he writes funny poems. It's been an interesting journey reading these. This is Friday, June 1st, 1945. Fate of Japan lies in Okinawa, says Premier Suzuki Battlefield, deep in mud as wet season nears peak. So here is a clipping of a paper added into this one. So that is very interesting. The Daily Target. Okay, so let's see what he has to say. And sometimes I do stumble on his words because he flares them out or he's writing when he's tired, so bear with me. This was written on June 3rd, 1945 on a Sunday. Dearest darling, another Sunday shot in the pants hump. He calls her hump. Hump diddly dee. He calls her hump. I think that's funny. But that means a week gone by, and I'm that much nearer to getting home to you. No mail again today, but there should be a lot here tomorrow, as none of us have had any the past 2 days. This morning, Holland and I raised the flag, then turned to something about an hour then turned to for about an hour. Then we went to church. Yes, hun, I went to church again. This is very lightly written, so bear with me. Pretty good, hun. Then I came back and played cards for about an hour until chow time. I broke even. This afternoon, Holland's friend, the one in the picture with me, I said you got a Jeep, and we all went for a ride around the island. It took us all afternoon, but we really went around the island. I kind of enjoyed it, but I kept thinking about the rides you and I used to go on. All 4 of us were thinking the same thing, being with our wives. This evening, I went to the show and I saw 2 Yank. Let me see something here. 2 Yank Abroad with Dennis O'Keefe and William Bendick. It was pretty good. A light comedy of Marines in Australia made me think of Don under how we enjoyed his leave in Australia. Okay, now you can see where the writing gets a little darker. That was really light. I turned the flashlight on my phone. Hold on. I hope he enjoyed it a lot, as I imagine he's pretty low, although he tries not to show it in his letters. I'm kind of anxious to hear from him. Gosh, but it's warm tonight. The perspiration is dripping off me. I'll bet it's going to be hard getting used to cold weather again. One thing though, hon, I'll have you to keep me warm. I'm enjoying the cold weather when you're with me to keep me warm. Well, sweet, it's just about time for lights out, so I had better close this letter. I'm enclosing a copy of the Target. It has a nice picture which was taken on our anniversary. Good night, my sweet. I love you, Bill. So that was paper is like so fine. It's almost like onion skin. So that's what this Target is. Pretty interesting. It says Memorial Day 1945, somewhere in the marinas, servicemen gathered to pay tribute to their buddies who fell in the conquest, still fresh in the minds of many present. Pretty cool. So that came in that letter. That was a first for that kind of ephemera. Very interesting. Hey, Brett. Long time no see. I had the flu after Christmas bread. It was awful. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. A. That's why I like calling Brett and his wife on Whatnot. Mr. and Mrs. Auctioneer. Mr. and Mrs. A. Okay, here's the next letter. Love these airmail. Look at these stamps with the planes. Pretty cool. I am really going to miss you too. And these letters are over. Dearest darling, I just returned from that what's he call it? I think he's got deer in here. Shorthand class. Once again, we have a new instructor. Oh God, I hated shorthand. I said that before, but I think that's funny. I will say he's a lot better than the last one. He gave us a little dictation out of the book tonight, and I took it at 30 words per minute. I'll admit that's lousy. Bless the man's soul, because I'm telling you, I couldn't do shorthand. I hated that class. And that it was given from stuff we've had, so I actually couldn't take it that fast, which is slow. If it were regular shorthand dictation, like some dictating a letter, anyway, it proves I learned a little so far. I've been kind of lax here lately, but I'm going to start really turning to this week, so help me. We have semi-annual marks this month, so the skipper marked my card. He gave me 4.0. That doesn't mean anything except self-satisfaction in knowing my work has been okay. No mail again today, Hump. There just hasn't been much coming in the past 4 days. I know I wouldn't have had some. Maybe I'll get a nice long one tomorrow. I had to dig in my sea bag and get a couple more white hats. The island is getting to be too far behind the war, so the generals and the admirals, oh my gosh, I can't talk, admirals are getting GI. I'm sure glad I'm in this outfit and not down the naval base, although I'd probably have a better chance of making chief. Oh well, I really am better off here than down there as chief. Well, my hump dilly, that's so funny, must close now as they are sounding taps. Miss you awful much, darling, so much it hurts. Keep dreaming of us, darling, and pretty soon our dreams will come true, and I'll be home with you. Good night, sweet. I love you, Bill. And then he added more. P.S. That's a long P.S. Hun, here's some pictures I've been holding. I have 3 negatives, so you can send pictures and have developed to Dawn, Al, or John and Vera. The negatives can be developed and will be a lot better, so you can keep those and give some to Lou, the folks, and Hazel and Jimmy. The other ones I don't have the negatives, so you hang on to them. It will be some time before I have any more, so you will have to make these last. Okay, hun? Bye now, sweet. I love you. P.S. Again, by the way, you might note that I'm letting my hair grow again. That's cute. He's letting his hair grow back out. So there's letter 2. Oh, what's this? How cool is that? That looks like Japanese currency. Look how cool that is. Oh, I'm getting some good stuff. And like I said, I have no clue what's in these letters until I open them for you all. So that's interesting. Dearest darling, no mail again today, hun, from you. I did get a letter from the folks today. Gertrude sent me a little 73rd Avenue earth in the letter. Boy, how I wish I had some of it under my feet. She also drew a picture of the pin I gave you for our anniversary, hun. I think it should look nice on you. Hope you like it, hun, because that's what counts most. Incidentally, it cost enough to look nice. Nothing but the best for my honey. I mailed you another something today. I don't know what that says. Looks like YAUK. I don't know. I mailed you another something today, hun, but this one is why you get through with it. Hun, save this one when you get through with it. By the way, Hump, have you ever received the necklace I mailed you? I hope so. I mailed it in a soap box with cotton packing, so it ought to go through okay. One of the pictures I put in your letter last night was rejected, so I'll have to save it till after the war. It was a picture of me and some dog we found wandering around the camp. It was taken in front of the ad building, but it took in too much of the camp area, so it can't pass censorship. It was lousy anyway, as it has a white spot right on my chin. Makes me look like I have a white beard. Yeah, because they have to watch showing their location. Think I'll take in the show tonight, Hump. The picture is God is my co-pilot with Dennis Morgan. Sounds good. I'll go now and let you know how it is after I get back. Well, I'm back, hun, and it was good. It was a story about the flying tigers in China. There was plenty of fighting in it that looked plenty realistic. If you get a chance to see it, Hump, be sure and do, because you will like it. One of the best war pictures I've seen since Destination Tokyo. Now, my lovely wife, I'm going to holler at you. I guess I can't really holler, but I'll tell you, You tell yes, tell you, not ask you, hump. You must stop working over. It's so funny how protective he is over her. Time. You were very good for a long time, and you got real healthy and full of pep. But here lately, you've been working overtime too much. You may not think it bothers you, but it makes you tired. The reason they made an 8-hour day was because more than that didn't give a person enough rest and time to themselves. It kept them going all the time and wore them down. Now, hun, you will promise me you won't work overtime anymore except in emergencies, and emergencies shouldn't come more than once a month. How about it? So, is it a promise? Well, my most wonderful wife, I must close now. Miss you awful, hump. I just keep thinking about how happy we'll be when I get him and we start in life again. Lights are going out now, sweet. So we'll say goodnight for now. I love you, Bill. He's just the sweetest. This is really cool. Really cool piece of ephemera. So that is that letter. And here is the next one. Gosh, I'm so going to miss these. This is so sad. I'm going to miss their letters. Dearest darling, I had given up hope for a letter again today. Hump, when late this afternoon I received one from you dated the 29th, the letter really looked good. Mail had been coming through so good up to the past 5 days. Maybe the lull is over now, and they will come through good again. I was sure sorry about the pictures not turning out good, hun. Looks like the cameras might be letting in some light. Then again, hun, you might be facing the camera, the sun, when you take the pictures, or whoever's taking the pictures. At any rate, hump, I'm glad you sent me the pictures, hun, because I can at least see your beautiful face. How I miss you, hun. God only knows I see you have your wedding suit on in one of the pictures. Sure looks good to me. Remember the night we were married? He's the way I love this respectful talk. I really do. You don't see letters like this anymore. I wasn't nervous, not much. Then you wouldn't let me drive the car. Then we didn't have any drinks until we went to something club. I think we should have had some drinks, but then it was awful nice of Loretta to hold the reception at her house. Then home after the I don't know if that's LNIDO or LRIDO. Looks like an N. El Nido? Don't know. Club. El Nido Club. Never heard of it. Oh, I'm awful sleepy. Haha, those wonderful dreams, hun. I'll never forget everything. Sounds like you and the girls are planning a big dinner. I guess it's over by now, hun, but I'm sure you enjoyed yourself. All the girls seem to be nice from what you've told me about them. So it's little Mary that plans to get married. It's quite a ways off, but time will pass fast. So you might be her matron of honor. That's fine of you. That's fine if you like it, hun. Do you So, not do. So you might buy a formal for the wedding. I guess it's going to be formal, and you're going to, if you're going to be, and you're going to be the matron of honor. That's the only thing to do. I sure wish I was there to help you buy it. If you're going to buy one, damn rotten war. Keep me posted anyways, hon. To Willie. So Willie Picarat, I don't know, gave her husband the ear. He sure didn't lose anything. No. Gave her husband the car. I don't know what that word is. It's kind of scribbled. He sure didn't lose anything. I heard once before that she was a pushover, but didn't believe. By the way, she talked in giving her husband, it looks like air. I don't know what that word is. Maybe I heard right. Timmy would, no. Tummy World with Funny People. Funny World with Funny People. I don't know. His rating's funky in this letter. Well, darling, gets all for tonight. Miss my honey awful lots. Good night, sweet. I love you, Bill. Yeah, I heard right. Funny World with Funny People. But that word, the heck is that word? Giving her husband the air? The something. I don't know what that is. It's like scribbled. I don't know. It's something. The car, the air, who knows? Scribble, scribble, scribble. Kyle! I'm reading these letters the best I can. It's definitely different reading a man's handwriting. Happy New Year, Kyle. Did you have a good Christmas and New Year's? Did you all have a good one? I hope so. I spent my New Year's Eve. I got sick with the flu right after Christmas, and I spent New Year's Eve with my puppy and my hubby. We actually watched the Dolly Parton and Miley Cyrus thing that aired until the New Year came in. It was a cute show. Okay, here's the next letter. I hope I can read this one better. Depends on how much he flares out his words. Dearest darling, I was bad last night and went to another show. I hadn't planned to go, so was just taking it easy after supper before I started to write your letter. About that time, someone came and said National Velvet was playing with Mickey Rooney. It was supposed to be a swell picture, so I went. I wasn't disappointed. It was in Technicolor and about horse racing in England. The race was the famous steeplechase, and it was really good. Everyone was hollering in the audience. Be sure and see it, hun, because it was very good. They also showed a short on the invasion of this island, which was very good. Altogether, the show was long, and I didn't get back until too late to write Lights Out. So I'm sneaking this one off this morning. No letter again yesterday, hump. Darn mail. Oh, yes, I did get a letter from you, hump. It was written on the 30th of November. You addressed it to Navy number 3205. That's where Dawn is. I think it was just a typing error, but it really went everywhere before arriving here. It was over 6 months old, hump. I was still living in a tent and hitting the foxhole when you wrote that. I got a few propaganda leaflets from a fellow yesterday, so I'm sending one to you, hun. One ride is the same as a 10 yen bill, one side, while the other side says to surrender. Incidentally, we drop these on them. I'm also going to send Donnie, Will, Bobby, and the folks one each. I wish to heck the darn Japs would surrender. Then I could come home to you, hun. That's the one thing I want most in this world. We'll close now, sweet. And get this censored. Bye now. I love you, Bill. So anybody that's Japanese, don't take offense to this because this was during a war. I'm only reading what I have. Okay. Next letter. Oh my goodness. We got negatives. Oh my God. I'm going to have to figure out how to get those developed. And a coin. There's a coin. There's a coin, Brett. Where are you at? That's an old one. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I wish it showed. It's people. Oh my gosh. I'll have to take this. I do know somebody that can do pictures. That would be so cool. Hey, Brandy. Welcome in. This is so cool. Thanks for coming in. Reading World War II letters. For anybody that's out there listening or sneaking in. Okay. Oh my God, I can't believe this. I can't believe I got negatives. I'm going to have to see about those getting developed. Okay, I'm excited. Dearest darling, I'm a bad boy. I did it right last night, hun, so I'm making up for it this morning. Payday was yesterday, so they forced me to play cards. Seeing I was a little ahead from last month. As a rule, we just play a little at lunchtime, but they insisted last night I came out even anyway. They are painting the office, so I can't do any work in there, so I'm rating the most wonderful wife in the world. Hump, the old mail finally came through yesterday. I received your letter of the 26th, 2 on the 27th, and the 28th. Also got the card from Veneto's restaurant. And how I remember our dinner there. About that date, I'll be there next year. How, hun, and we'll sit in the same booth. Darling, I'm awful glad you liked your gift. I was really sweating it out. I asked Gertrude a month and a half ago to start looking for something for you. She told me about the pin, but I couldn't imagine what kind of pin it was. I thought she meant cushion pin, but now she wrote and drew me a picture of it. I realized she meant costume jewelry pin. That sounds a lot better. And I know you or didn't. Let's see. I know you don't or didn't have a nice costume pin. So I'm happy that is what it was. Really, what really counts though, hun, is the fact that you liked it and it made you happy. Nothing makes me more happy than to know you were made happy. It's sure a good thing you didn't buy one the night you and Helen were shopping. I almost bought you one at the ship service at Mare Island one day, but I couldn't find one I thought you would like. So I bought that compact, remember? Glad you had a nice week and with the folks. Guess the skeet field is kind of deserted now with nobody being able to shoot. Sure wish we were together so we could grab Lorraine's apartments. As far as getting it now, hun, no soap. I don't know what that means, but okay. You stay put, hun, because you stay put because you're better off than you could be anywhere. Also, I won't be home for a long time yet, so I would wait a minute. I won't be home for a long time yet. So it would just be a lot of extra expenses and hardship on you. I'm afraid you will just have to hold out until I get home, hun. Then we can go at things. Then we can go something things, right? Don't you agree? As for Donnie, hun, I would just forget about her. I don't think the girl we once she's the girl we once knew, and I sure as hell wouldn't go out of my way to see her after the first something. If she wanted to get in touch with you, she would have. You did the best you could, hun, which I think was swell, seeing as Dawn was anxious for you to see her, but apparently she thinks she is too busy. So to hell with her. Apparently he didn't like her. So old Charles Dame retired. He deserves it. Guess he had 16 years in the Navy and 14 years in civil service. Hun, you said it when you wished we were on the course again. I'm getting anxious to go a couple rounds again. We'll take in that course by cruise. Maybe he's trying to say cruise by Santa Cruz. I don't know. Where we played last year. I forget the name of it, but it was sure nice. Incidentally, I played a pretty good game that second time. Well, sweet, guess that's about all for now. Have a few little things to do, so I better get busy. Miss you something awful, Hump. I dreamed about you again last night, but can't remember what we were doing or where. Anyway, it was you, and I saw you perfect, so that's what counts. Goodbye for now. I love you, Bill. That's so sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. I still can't believe I got negatives. That's too funny. Haley! Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I was sick, girl. I had the flu right after Christmas. It was awful. It took forever to get my strength back, but thank goodness. Okay. So, this is like the best set of letters yet. I can't believe I got negatives. I can't believe it. I'm taking it to a photography studio. Okay. This is a light letter. This is going to be fun. My dearest darling, here it is Sunday, hun, and I had no hopes for any mail. But bang, it really came through. I received yours of the 31st, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and also one each from Lou Hazel and John Methvin. Wow, I really hit the jackpot. Looks like juke. Okay. Do I love my honey and how? I'm awful glad you enjoyed your dinner with the girls, hun. Sounds like that new night spot is very nice. But as you said, it won't take long before it goes the way Vallejo goes. So your pop is on the 4 to 12. Guess he's still the policeman. Has he apprehended any spies on enemy agents lately? Bob, he's still fighting the war tooth and toenail. I'm glad my letters help, hun. I don't know what I'd do without yours. Oh, so her dad's a policeman? That's interesting. Mail and pictures are the most wonderful things we have out here. Every picture of you, hun, is better than $100 bill. I'm glad you enjoyed your visit with Nell. It's good for you to get out of the valley for a weekend. You made Lena, somebody, sound like she is really a dish. I love vaudeville shows too, and one always knows there's one at the Golden Gate. I remember that Joey Reardon, we enjoyed him the night we saw the Campbell caravan at the barracks. I don't doubt a minute, but he'll wind up in Hollywood or is already there. Talking about shows I saw. The Clock with Judy Garland and Robert Walker. I think that's what it says. Last night I enjoyed it. It was about a soldier on a 48-hour pass who met a girl and married her, then left her overseas. Their goodbye was what got me. So if you guys heard of that movie or that show, The Clock with Judy Garland, I'll have to Google that. I never want to say goodbye to you again, darling. Did Steve make the drawing of that something? Al wrote, whoever did. No. At any rate, whoever did sure did a swell job. Did the drawing of that Ren or pen? Maybe it was the pen. Drawing of the pen. Okay. I know it looks 1,000,000% better. It must be the pen she was wanting. When it's on you, I couldn't help it. I went to church this morning, and after coming back, we had a big volleyball game. Our hut is tied for the lead with one other hut. We play it off tomorrow evening. Charlie Reed's team, who we beat, thought we shouldn't have beat them, so they challenged us to a game this morning. With the something something at stakes. With the beer, something at stakes. We played 2 out of 3 after having a good lead. We dropped the first game only after a double deuce. Anyway, we won the next 2 straight. It looks like the beer something. CH Chits. CHITS is what it looks like. Beer chits. I don't know. Are ours. Gosh, I don't. Or is it chips? Beer chips, maybe? I don't know. Gosh, I don't know whether I can take 4 beers at one time or not. I'm not the mean. No, I'm not the man I used to be. Reading his rating sometimes. John wrote me a nice long letter. Vera sent him the letter I wrote her, so he got my address and wrote right away. He's still at TI and said Vera was coming. Vera was something and was going to try and visit you, was coming up and was going to try to visit you a day John says he thinks he'll get sea duty before long as they are making a lot of changes. He also said he works in the Frisco 3 out of every 4 nights for about 5 hours, making $1 an hour. Isn't that awful? $1 an hour. Ugh. Guess they are something it away. It looks like salting. I don't know. I'm glad the only way is to get ahead. Money talks. There's something maybe saving. I don't know. Well, my lovely Mrs. Pierce, I think I'll close and try to drop a line to Hazel and Lou. This is a good day to catch up on my correspondence. Sure wish we were spending this Sunday together, darling. Just hang on, darling, and keep up the good work, as this blasted war can't last forever. Bye, your darling. I love you, Bill. I think that was the name, Sandy. I don't know. His rating sometimes is like so just cursive, like swirly. I just can't read it. I can read cursive, just not men's cursive sometimes. Sometimes his letters are really clear, and sometimes they're not. Plus, I don't have the best lighting in here either, so that hurts a little bit too. Okay, my darling wife just returned from my weekly shorthand class, hon. I managed to pick up another book to study from tonight. It's the kind of issued for the class, but there was only about 1 book for every 3 students, so I didn't get one. But had a similar book, so have been using it. This other book is a little later issue, so I think I'll study both of them. I received your letter of it's either the 4th or 5th because he scribbled over his letters today, hon. But last night, after I finished your letter, I received a letter from you dated the 4th, which made 5 from you yesterday. Gosh, hon, you really turned loose on that letter of the 4th. 20 pages or about 10 of this size, hon. I don't think I could even match that record. I'm awfully happy you like the bracelet, hon. We find those shells out in the water here, and I swim. Some fellows hunt them every day, so I can make necklaces. And sell them. You can shine them with a toothbrush and toothpaste. Anyway, darling, it's a nice resemblance of my days here on. It looks like Sarpiau, Sarp, or Sarpau. Must be an island. Yes, the censorship regulations were amended, so we can now say we are on. They can name where they're at. It looks like Sarpan, Sarp, something like that. There was a darn few of the folks back home that didn't know where the boys were that were here. Guess they feel it's safe now, although the Army always could say they were here. They also used to be able to tell about air raids and etc. Navy is a lot stricter with censorship than the Army is. Darling, when you buy that sweater to wear with your necklace, have a snapshot taken of you and send it to me so I can see what it looks like on you. I know it will look swell as everything and anything looks well on my honey. We played the team that was tied with our hut for the lead in. Our inter-hub competition. We beat them 21-13, so that gives us the undisputed lead. All the other teams have lost 2 or more, while we only dropped 1. We have 2 more games to play, but neither team is any good, or at least hasn't been up till now. Talking about winning, our basketball team just cinched a tie for first place in the Naval Base League. With tonight's victory, they will have to have a playoff, but I'm sure we'll come out on top. I'm glad you got your E again this year, Hump. I know you're glad to get it, and I also know that if anyone deserved it, it sure is you. They'll have to go a long way before they find a letter, to find a better one, and I doubt whether there is one in the world. As for my own something, hun, you're the best in the world. Opinion. As for my own opinion, hun, you're the best in the world. Not only that not only goes for work, but as a wife. As beautiful and wonderful in everything, darling. Oh, that's so sweet. So old Norville is leaving for sea duty. He will probably be lucky enough to get good duty, but it still won't be anything like NAP. He'll cuss the day he put in for sea duty, and if it was the something, if it was the outgrowth of the incident, I don't know what this word is, with that girl, he'll cuss the day he tried to undress her while on duty. I don't know what a guy has ever mentioned his looks again. Remember, he was writing a book. I don't know what that was about. Glad you got me some shower shoes, hun. The wooden soles will be fine. I've been using a pair of moccasins, which are my swimming shoes. They are good substitutes. You really pulled a fast one on that stocking deal, hun, but you felt guilty when you found out you had crowded in front of the line. Anyway, you didn't know it at the time and did get the hose, so that's what counts. I'm sorry, Dolly disappointed you. I have no clue what they're talking about on this part. Darling, but just consider the source and forget it. She apparently is through with Don and also his friends. Well, it sure don't hurt my feelings, but I do feel sorry for Don as I know he still loves her. But any rate, he'll get over it and find some nice girl that really loves him and be better off in the long run. That's the Dottie he was talking about. Dottie apparently just didn't have the stuff it takes to make a real wife. I can truly say you do, darling. I wouldn't trade you for all the women in the world. Yup, hun, your old man really loves you. I'm sure you'll enjoy the Follies, hun, and very, very glad you got the ticket so you can go. I only wish I were home to take you, sweet, but I'm sure you will enjoy it with the girls. I enjoyed the last ones we went to before I left. Well, go tell all of them when I get home, hun. Sorry, it's the way he wrote this. We will go to all of them when I get home. He's talking about the Follies. Okay. Thanks for forwarding John's letter, Hump. He wrote me the same day he wrote you. I must admit, we did have a good time playing cards and picnicking at the something creek, except for that one card game. From now on, though, hun, we'll something. He abbreviated something. We'll something them to ourselves if you know what I mean. Charge them up to experience. It was real nice of John to write, and I hope he gets some good duty if and when he does leave TI. Well, darling, think about. I think that about does it. Oh, yes, I went to the show last night. I saw Objective Burma with Earl Flynn. I don't know. It was real good and not a woman in it. It was based on paratroopers raid preceding the invasion of Burma. See it, Hump? It's way past taps hour, and I'm over at the office, so the letter's closed now. And hit that old sack. Miss you terribly, honey, every minute of every day. Good night, sweet. I love you, Bill. So he was trying to hurry up and rate this before taps. I've heard of taps. Isn't that where they do the horns or something at the end of the evening? Vin! Hey, Vid. Happy New Year. I hope you had a great New Year and Christmas. I was sick after Christmas. I had the flu. But the rest of the time was fun. And I was so nauseous and dizzy. I seen some people go live. I couldn't even look at YouTube. I get catching up on visiting people's channels, but when you're nauseous and you get that seasickness, motion sickness type feeling, I couldn't watch anything. One thing I watched was TV, and even that I had to shut my eyes after a period and just rest. Dearest darling, mail kind of slacked off, so I never got any today. I sure can't. Something through all that I received Sunday. It will probably be a few days before I get any more. Went to the show tonight. It was going to be good, but it turned out to be lousy. The name was practically yours with Claudette, somebody, and Fred McMurray. They're usually good, but this time they sure missed. Gosh, I don't know what to talk about, hun. What I'm thinking is about you and me after the war. I wonder just how long it will take to really get established. By that, I mean having our own home and a family started. How long do you think it will be, darling? I think about it always. Just guess I miss my honey pretty bad. Well, I'm just rattling off. Remember the day we spent at Dawn's and Dottie's house when they were living on Seminary Avenue and Dottie was working at General Electric? Dawn had to work that day. He was still on duty in Frisco. That's been quite a while ago now, darling, but I still remember it was pretty good. Shame on you, ha ha. Let me see. Oh, yes, I remember that Sunday morning we were squeezed into that twin bed at the folks' house with Alta in the other one. How well I remember that one Sunday morning talking about beds. I'm going to have to learn to sleep in one again. I've been sleeping in a cot for over 7 months now. I don't mean bunk bed cots, the kind a fella takes with him to go hunting. I probably won't get a wink of sleep the first few nights I'm home with you. Worry, worry. Gosh, I haven't said a thing in the letter, hun, but it was fun talking about our sacred memory. They are all we have out here. Guess that's about all tonight, sweet. Miss you all the time, hun. Good night now. I love you, Bill. And he wrote to her in shorthand. Isn't that funny? Oh, God bless the man. Anybody can write in shorthand. I bless him. But you know, it's to me, I love these letters because you hear from the man's side. And it's nice to hear all the sentiments. You know, you think some men just don't have sentiments, and they do. So this letter has another piece of ephemera in it. Looks like another kind of newspaper. This one's called The Newsboy, Buoy. Cool. Tonight in the Naval Base Chow Line, have your quarters ready, mates. That's too funny. These little pieces of paper he stuck in here is really cute. Okay. Love this ephemera. I got more ephemera in these last letters. Oh, here we go. More of his. Okay, he finally spelled out the place they were at better. It is Saipan. It's Saipan. He put it at the top of the letter. That's the island that they were on in World War II. To my darling, received your letters of the 6th and 7th hump. Maybe she told him she couldn't read them like I can't read them. Yes, I wanted a picture of me in my field uniform, but at that time, none of us had cameras or film, and since then, they picked up the rifle packs, etc. I still have my helmet and gas mask, and if we ever get to have pictures developed again, I'll have one of me taken with the helmet. I just sent you a copy of the it looks like, oh, I wish I could read that letter, which gave a good story on Sapien, I think it's how you say it. it looks like it's YAUK. Keep a good story. The other one I sent you also is a story of Sapien. Be sure to read them and save them. So Joyce is going to Phila while Jimmy is at OCS. He was lucky to get that, and I hope he gets through. Okay, maybe becoming a father will slow him down a little, as he was a pretty fast living guy. Come on. I didn't know her and Jim was living with, it's supposed to be were living with Bad Connie and her husband. That must have been some household. That husband of Connie's must be quite a guy. 8 years in the Marines and just made corporal. I will admit it's harder to get an achievement in the Marines than it is in any other part of the service. If anyone deserves advancement, it's them, because they really do the fighting out here. My hat's off to them. To the something is making captain and taking over when that other guy retires. I can't remember his name, but that spelling's terrible. Sounds like you kind of like him, Hump. I hope, because it's hard to work for someone you don't like. I don't have any something about my skipper. I'm glad your days are going fast, hun. Mine are still going fast, but as you say, the months don't go near as fast as I want them to. I'm enclosing that picture of Mary's boyfriend. He looks like a nice fellow and also good looking, but not as good looking as me. Haha. I'm afraid if I ever knew him, I don't remember him now. So Bob and Lorraine are going back east. That don't hurt my feelings. If Bob stays there forever, it won't make me feel bad. Nasty, ain't I? So it looks like Fox is going to get a little sea duty. It's about time, and he has no kick coming, but I still feel for him, as it will be a long time before he gets home once he gets out here. The NAD duty was really fab. Okay. Well, my darling, must be closed for now. I'm enclosing a copy of, and that's that. Note the basketball standings. We cinched a tie for first place, and we'll have a playoff with the officers of the Eastern League Championship. I think we can win. Bye, sweet. I love you, Bill. P.S. I miss you awfully, Hump. So he's talking about the basketball scores. It's got Major League standings, American League team, New York, Detroit, St. Louis, Boston, Cleveland, Chicago, Washington, Philadelphia. And then it's got National Leagues team, New York, Pittsburgh, Brooklyn, Chicago, St. Louis, Boston, Philadelphia. I thought he was California. I don't know. Oh, it's over here. Maybe. The Brown Bombers, the small craft. I don't know which one he was. He's on. It's got teams on this other page. I don't know, but that's cute. Okay. Keep going or I'm never going to get these done. Am I putting you all to sleep? If anything, I can read you to sleep. What happened to my chat? Come on. My phone just went kapooey. Ugh. What? Stupid porn spam. Okay. So I got that reported and blocked. It's ridiculous. Okay. Next. Oh, I wish there was pictures for some more negatives. My dearest darling, I did it right last night, so I'm getting this off early this morning. They drugged me into a poker game and I didn't get away until taps. I might add, I didn't hurt myself, but I did feel guilty about not rating. Anyway, I hope this makes up for it. I don't want to give you any excuse for starting to miss rating to me each day. Mean, aren't I? I received your letter of the 8th yesterday, Hump, so the captain will probably leave in September. Something he does kind of hate to leave after so many years. I'll bet he is happy in thought. You say he bought a house in Coronado. If I remember right, he was going to leave California if he ever got the chance. He must have been just talking because he has his chance now. Nobody with good sense would want to leave California, would they, hun? Haha, that's funny. A lot of people are. I must admit, I wish those that came to California, especially the Bay Area since 1940, would leave. It would sure make things a lot nicer. So, Mary is taking a ribbing on her coming marriage. Everyone has to take one so they wouldn't enjoy it. So far as saying yes or no to whether they should or shouldn't is entirely up to them. I know I'm glad we didn't wait any longer to get married, Hump. I just wish. Fact is, I wish we had done it sooner, although maybe we were smart in waiting for a while. At any rate, it's turned out perfect for us, and we'll keep it that way. Oh, me. I have a drawer full of letters to answer. It don't seem possible for time to sleep so fast, but it seems like the week's gone before it starts. I have Johnny, Very, Lou, Lorraine, and the folks to write to. Maybe I'll catch up someday. Well, my humpty-dilly, I'm just about out of things to say. Gosh, I miss you. I really don't know how I ever got along those 22 years before I married you. Don't ever let me down, Hump. We'll close for now, hun, and get these in the mail. Bye now. I love you, Bill. So they were young. Cool. 22 years, he said. So what? He married her at 23? That's young. I mean, my hubby's been married since we were in our 20s, too. What is wrong with YouTube? Hey, Cherise. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. A funeral? That's not good. That's not a good way to start out the new year. I'm sorry for your loss. That's terrible. Here is the next letter. I bet that is tough. My darling honey, I catch 'em your letter of the 9th today, Hump. The one you wrote last Saturday. Those Saturday nights are lonely, hun, but you can bet your life you will never be lonely again once I get home. You will probably have a chance. You'll probably have to chase me away from you so you can have a little peace to yourself. I saw that picture, Blood and Sand, hun, and thought it was very good. It's awful nice of your mom to take you and Cookie and pick you up after. How is your gas problems coming along? She was always out of gas, but it seemed that the car was always running. Incidentally, I saw in a clipping Hazel sent me that they are planning to raise the ration to 3 gallons a week. That makes a lot of people happy. Could you imagine rationing gas to 3 gallons a week? Oh my gosh. Tonight we get 2 bottles of beer for winning the volleyball championship. That is, the team gets 2 bottles apiece. Oh well, a little is better than none. We had a lot of fun winning. How does it feel to have a champion in the family? Haha. Well, my wonderful wife, I think that's about all for tonight. Miss and love you every minute, darling. I've really enjoyed your glamour picture. I have it on my desk in front of me all the time. You look more beautiful every day. Gosh, I'm lucky. Good night, sweet. I love you, Bill. My goodness, 3 gallons of gas wouldn't even get my husband to work. I can't imagine rations like that. Hey, Hidden. How have you been, and Happy New Year? Prayers sent your way too, Cherise. You know, I've been watching this interesting show on MTV that we bought the Paramount app that we pay a monthly fee for. And there's this show on there called Ghosting. It's like catfishing, like the catfish show, but it's people who ghosted each other that were either friends or in a relationship. That show is something else. Because I liked watching catfish, but this show is really touching. There was one episode on there and had me freaking in tears. I was like, oh my God, it's terrible. Why people aren't communicating. You know, back in the day, if you had a fight with your friend, you talked it out. And I feel like on the web, people can block way too easy without discussing things. And it's just sad. So this one couple went through a really sad thing that were best friends. It was just real touching. Okay. My dearest darling, here is that lonesome Saturday night, hun. The old mailman even failed me today. Fact is, he failed almost everyone, just no mail. We went to the show tonight, but it wasn't much good. It was Pat O'Brien, Carol Landis, and George Murphy, and having a wonderful time. I would have been better off staying here and catching up on some of my rating. So apparently he didn't like that show. It just started to rain. Remember, we used to listen to the rain from inside of our naughty Pine Haven. Gosh, but that was a wonderful place. I remember every minute of the time we spent there. I can even smell that good food you used to cook when I was outside tinkering with the car. You used to call me about 3 times and I would come a running. I'm afraid when I get home, I won't even leave you long enough to go out and tinker with the car or anything. Holland and I broke open a coconut this afternoon. I found it right outside the office. It had fallen off one of the trees just in the back of the office. It was really good. Fact is, I drank all the milk. Holland didn't want any and ate half the coconut. I think it's the best one we've had so far. We can't send them home or I'd send you one. I don't think I told you about the office. I did tell you they were painting it. Well, it's finished now. Two-tone job. The top is white and the sides blue. Nothing but glass on saipan. At any rate, it's a lot better as it looks clean now. I'm afraid I'm running out of words, hon. Guess I've told you so many times how much I miss you that you get tired of hearing it. I can't help it, hon. That's what's mostly on my mind. Oh, for the day when I get home. We'll close now, sweet. Good night. I love you, Bill. This is so sweet. Thank you, Hidden. These are the last batch of letters. It's going to be really sad to say goodbye to Elsie and William. I'm going to miss them. Oh, here's another little piece of ephemera. The Target Saipan. Saipan? The Daily Target. It's another one of those little newspapers. Very interesting. Okay. I love these letters. My darling honey, this makes 2 Sundays in a row that we got mail, and I might say I did all right. I received your letters of the 10th, 11th, and 12th, plus the Father's Day card. Thanks for the card, hun. I have high hopes for the honor someday. So you had a real hot day last Sunday. Sounds like it would have been a swell day for one of our trips to Big Basin. That sure is a swell place and will be there more after the war. Remember the square dance the last time we were there? Funny what a few drinks will make us do. Gosh, Hump, you really turned something to on this letter of the 11th, written on the 11th and 11 pages. I really love to receive those long letters from you, hun. I guess you did have some excitement when that guy ran over your mother's front yard. You must have really hollered at him, Hump. Anyway, you were right on your toes as you usually are. I'll bet your mom was mad at her flowers getting broke. The driver must have been pretty tight to be driving so wild, but he gets a heavy fine and a restriction on driving for a while. So McGomber is on an overnight carrier. Thanks for his address, hun. I'll raid him and find out the latest. He'll probably have plenty of action before it's over. Sure would like to see him again, but I doubt if I'll get the chance. He knows where I am. He will look me up if he does come here. That was awful nice of Jeannie to write you back. Something to visit her, hun. I hate to put a damper on it, huh? But I really don't like the idea of you traveling across the U.S. by yourself. Too much can happen. I hope that maybe someday we can go back together on vacation. So Mary is going to be married on July 29th. That isn't very far away. That's so funny. July 29th is my YouTube channel anniversary. That's funny. I hope these marriages turn out as nice as ours, hun, both ways. The ceremony and they're getting along together afterwards. And for the bonds, hun, I don't think we ought to touch them. I wouldn't be buying any more in cash, but you're still taking them out of your salary, which I think is okay. I'm sure the bonds will always be as good as gold and they will never freeze them. As for enough money to get started again, I'm sure we'll have enough without cashing any bonds. That must have been quite a surprise for Kay when you girls popped in on her for her birthday. Sounds like her folks are real nice. Breaking out the champagne was all right too. Hope you enjoyed the ice follies, hun. I've always wanted to go to them, but just like last year, we couldn't get reservations. Maybe hope for the next ones. I sure hope so. Well, darling, guess it's about time to close. Miss you awful much, hump. The dumpty. Just keep writing those wonderful letters and telling me how much you love and miss me, and that's all I can ask. Bye now, sweet. I love you, Bill. He's so sweet. Sweetness. I think this is the last airmail envelope. And then he's got those long envelopes. We're almost there. Dearest darling, didn't get a chance to write last night, so am writing a fast one this morning to keep my record good. It was a school night for me last night. Only one other fellow showed up and myself. I love the way they say fellow. The instructor didn't even put in an appearance. We studied and shot the bull till about 2010. Then we heard a crash. Some truck had pulled up to the back of the Jeep. This fella had a few dents, was all the damage. Anyway, about that time, our basketball team started to play for the Naval Base Eastern League Championship. So I left and went down to watch them. They played the officers who previously beat them 26-24. This time we won 47-25. The team really poured it on. Now we played the winners of the Western League for the Naval Base Championship. I think we have a darn good chance to win it. Enough of this athletic talk. I received the progress test certificate yesterday, hun. Thanks a lot. Don't think it means anything, but it might as well. I might as well have it just in case. No letters yesterday, hun. So I guess that's about all for now. Miss you terribly, darling. Bye for now. I love you, Bill. Hey, bud. It is the Bud Files. We are finishing the last of the World War II letters from last year. That is what we were doing. Did you have a good New Year's and Christmas? We actually watched um Miley and Dolly Parton show that brought in the new year. It was cute. Okay. Next set of letters. And yes, if I do get those pictures developed, those two negatives, I will bring the pictures back to the channel and show you guys. Okay. My dearest darling, missed the mail wagon again yesterday, hun. Seems like we've been receiving most of our mail on Sundays for the past 2 weeks. I didn't do a down thing last night except play cards till 9. After that, I walked down to the recreation hall and shot baskets for a while and played a couple games of ping pong. Oh, I haven't played ping pong in a while. By that time, it was time for taps, and I had really worked up a sweat. Sure don't take long to get hot and sweaty in this climate. There wasn't any show last night. They were changing projectors around. They will. I can't believe how fine these papers are. It's like onion skin. Started showing them again tonight. I forgot to tell you. Bob Roach is executive officer of the Navy Naval Magazines now. How about that? He's doing okay for himself. It started to rain last night. Ugh, don't talk to me about rain. That's all it's been doing here is raining. And it's still going today. The real rainy season is supposed to start in July. Kind of hate to see it come as things get so muddy and everything is damp and mildewed. We had these tropical something huts, which have lots of ventilation. When it rains, the spray comes right in the hut. Lots of times it wakes you up at night. And about all you can do is slide under the covers a little further. I might add that it never keeps me awake, though it awakens me. That is one thing I can really do is sleep. Well, darling, guess that's about all for now. Sure miss my honey. It will be 10 months tomorrow since I said goodbye that morning in Napa. Too long. But anyway, over half my 18 months are up, and 18 months will mean anything when I'm due for rotation. Still too long to worry about it. Bye now, my sweet. I love you, Bill. Our yard is so soupy. My back motion lights are out, and I literally took my dog out to go to the bathroom, and I heard all this noise on the ground. There was a bunch of fishing worms. All I have to say is people need bait for fishing. We have the biggest, juiciest worms in my backyard when it rains. It's crazy. I was watching them all run to their holes because they saw my flashlight. The light beaming hitting the ground. It was crazy. That's how much rain we have. It's like soupy outside. Okay. Hello, my darling. Another day yesterday with no mail. Funny how the darn mail goes. It will come and swell for a week or two. Swell. He says swell. And then just drops off. Guess there's a lot of other stuff that has higher priority than mail. Played volleyball last night. I loved volleyball. I played volleyball when I was in middle school. After supper, we just made up some teams with only 4 on each side and played till dark. Really had a workout. That darn volleyball can really get strenuous. Yesterday afternoon, I sneaked over to the galley and got myself a bowl of ice cream. That's something that really hits the spot out here. We do pretty good. Average getting it at least twice a week and sometimes more. Gosh, darling. Love that. He calls her darling. Seems there's just nothing to talk about when I don't hear from you. I'm at a loss for words. All I can think about is how much I miss you and how happy I will be when I get home to you. We'll close for now, sweet, and get this in the mail. Keep writing, huh? Because the mail will start coming again soon. Bye now. I love you, Bill. I will miss Bill and Elsie. I will so miss reading these letters. I want their story to go on forever. It's just so sad. It's almost over. The last set of letters. My dearest darling, the mail is still bad, Humpty Dumpty. Now he's calling her Humpty Dumpty instead of Humpty Dilly. Looks like I'll just have to wait until Sunday to get your precious mail, hon. I know it will come in, so I'll wait. Well, I see by our Sapin beacon that Okinawa has been secured. That was really a tough one, but I guess it will be very valuable to us in further operations. Look like we'll still have a long ways to go, but we're going, and that's what counts. I wonder where the next stop will be. Guess everybody is wondering, and they'll have their own ideas. Didn't do much of anything last night, huh? Wrote a note to Vera in answer to her letter of a month ago. After that, I went and watched a basketball game till 9, then played ping pong till taps. It was sure raining last night. We even had lightning all over the place, but I didn't hear any thunder. I suppose there was some, although I don't remember hearing it. Gosh, Hump, can't think of much more to say. I miss my honey every minute of the day. It was just 10 months ago yesterday that I said goodbye to you on the porch in Napa. That's a long time to be away from my honey. Too long. Bye now, my sweet. I love you, Bill. That's so sad. I remember when I was dating my husband, he was in the Navy. We were parted for 9 months. It sucked too. Freaking long wait. So I can feel their pain. Even though we weren't married yet. Okay. Dearest honey, a letter finally came through, darling. It was yours of the 15th, and I remember, right, it's the first one this week since Sunday. I don't, wait a minute, I think I do. Yes, I'm sure. That Margaret you were talking about is about 30 years old and not much to look at. That was sure too bad for her when she lost her baby. Oh, that was cruel to say, not much to look at. He's mean. I wouldn't doubt, but she's still chasing around and keeping late hours. If she still dresses with that. If she still what? Not dresses. If she's still something with that Lily and Annette, is probably why she lost her baby. She must have been doing something bad. See, you men talk about us women gossiping. Listen to him. I'm awful glad you enjoyed the Ice Follies Hump. To Kleiser there, too. He's really had a rough time of it this war, hasn't he? Something hope. Sure hope I'm home to see them next year. We played volleyball again against the Marine team tonight and got beat 2 in a row. We have a game scheduled with them for a week from today. Maybe we'll do better next time. Tonight, our basketball team played the champions of the Western League. We were champions of the Eastern League. They played for the Naval Base Championship. We lost. It was a hard-fought game, but they were just too much for us. The censorship regulations were lifted a little, so we can now say there are B-29s here. And also some Jap activity. They just about have most of the leftover Japs cleaned out more. But suppose you know as much about that as I do, seeing as they write in newspapers and magazines. The same goes for the B-29s. I went through from one end to the other. They are really big. Sure would like to take a ride in one, but not over Tokyo. Tomorrow night, we are having a ship's company party in our rec hall, a cold supper, and 4 bottles of beer. Some of the boys are getting a little entertainment up, piano, guitar, accordion, and lots of good voices. It was the skipper that arranged the whole thing. He's really okay. Should be fun anyway. Well, my darling guest, I'll close for now. Miss my honey awful much. Good night, sweet. I love you, Bill. Next. Some of these letters, it's like the envelopes, the sticky part resealed. Anything for one picture of these two. Ugh. I just got a picture of the one guy, Dawn. My dearest darling, today was the day I've been waiting for, Hump. I received your letters of the 13th, 15th, and 2nd on the 17th. They not only look good to me, but smell good to me. Glad you received the pictures, hun. Yep, I bet the old hair's grown out. Hump, for fear that you would disown me if I didn't. Gosh, it must have been hot to break the thermometers. Guess it's about time you had a little hot weather at home, though. I don't know whether I'll ever get used to cold weather again. Falling asleep in your shorts and sleeping all night that way. Shame on you. You must have been really tired, Hump. But then you should have been after staying out until 2 a.m. the night before. You're like me, Hump. Just have to have your sleep. You really turn to last Sunday, hun, when you wrote me 2 letters. 1 7 pages talking about the Hidden Valley really brings back memories. We'll really have to go back up there again, hun. These other places too, Hump, all of them. So Joyce left. I guess she did feel kind of sad after being there so long. It only takes so long before everyone knows just what kind of person Connie is. Remember, you used to tell me I didn't understand her. She wasn't like an open book. It's too bad she fools anyone. So, Port Chicago is really building up. I talked to Roach on the phone today, and he said the same thing. We had quite a talk about dear old Mare Island, or some island. When I told him about Norval and the girls, he tried to undress on the depot. I don't know. He really laughed. He said he thought it was funny. Norval was getting sea duty and was wondering what happened. I also told him about Neil Siri, and he wants to see the pictures you sent me of him and his wife in the paper. Now I can't find the darn thing. Must have thrown it away. He said he knew the girl and she was real nice. Excuse me. Another thing he told me was that Barbara Erickson's brother is in his outfit. How about that? Well, darling, guess that's all for today. We'll tell you how the ship's party turns out tonight. Bye for now, my lovely. I love you, Bill. Sandy, are you still awake? Are you making it? Or did I talk you to sleep, woman? She's been waiting for these letters. And these are the last ones. Boo-hoo. You're still awake, woman. You need a medal. My darling wife, I'm a bad boy. He's a bad boy, Sandy. I didn't rate my honey yesterday. I had all the good intentions, but I failed you yesterday morning. After going to church, I played volleyball till noon for about 2 hours after noon. I washed clothes. Our washing machine broke down, and I had to get out the old bucket and scrub brush. Then I went down and watched the softball team get beat by some army outfit. About 4 in the afternoon, I went down to rate my honey, and the boys hooked me into a rummy game. Well, I played rummy till it was time to eat, so I figured I would stay in after the show and really do some writing. But when I came back from the show, the boys were waiting for me. They had a new card game, and I, had no choice but to play. It's called Pan Rummy or Hook Rummy. Have you guys ever heard of that? I haven't. I've heard of Gin Rummy. And it's played with 7 decks of cards. That's a lot of cards. It is really quite a game, and we played till taps. I thought I could maybe get off a last letter this morning, but I was too busy and had letters to type, mail, and handle a bad typewriter and kept going all day. Will you forgive me, Hump? Well, we had our ship's company party Saturday night. We had a snack, dinner, and 4 bottles of beer apiece. Of course, some of the boys didn't drink beer, so some of the others had a little more than their ration. The skipper paid for half of the beer out of his own pocket. I had enough friends, to induce me to play a shanty in an old shanty town and the chopsticks on the piano. That's the first time I played on the piano for a long time. I might add, I had a headache the next morning too. Oh well, I enjoyed myself, and I'm sure most of our men that participated in the party did. I just came back from my shorthand class tonight. There's only been 3 of us who regularly attend. So far, we've had 3 teachers. That's terrible. 3 teachers to teach them shorthand. It's awful. So now we lost the 3rd one. I don't know who they will have next, but we can. I don't know why they had to learn shorthand anyways. I think that's terrible. That's like torture of the military. Expect anyone. I received your letter of the 18th yesterday, hon, and your package this evening. That book looks like a good one. I'm just finishing the other one, Brave Men. Took me long enough, didn't it? I just haven't taken time to read except for a few minutes at lunchtime. Everything was swell, hun, but you shouldn't waste your meal points sending me shrimp, as I can get plenty of that kind of stuff here. As long as you send it, I shall make good use of it. I think I'll have one of the cooks making me a shrimp cocktail like you used to. How I used to love those. I liked National Velvet very much. And she was quite a rider, wasn't she? I like National Velvet too. I think if I ever did ride a horse, one time I rode on the back of one and it ruined me. I've been around horses my whole life. I think that's funny. Another time in Frisco, I rode a mule. There we go. And it bucked me off. Guess I'd never make a cowboy. I'll stick to cars. Sounds like you really have had a bad spell. Getting a little sap and weather. Well, I think it's about time it warmed up a little here. That cold weather gets pretty tiresome. Well, my sweet, guess that's all for now. Sure do miss you every minute. Bye now, sweet. I love you, Bill. Dill! I see your eyeballs. Happy New Year. Did you have a good New Year? I know, Dell. Tell me about it. These are great, though. I love these letters. This is the last batch of the World War II letters between William and Elsie, and I'm going to miss them. This is it. The last little pile I have left to read. But I do have 2 negatives I want to get developed out of that one letter. And he did send some ephemera in these. And here's another one of those little targets that he sent home. These are really cute. I will read these later. These are little news bulletins back in World War II. Very cool ephemera. And it's got Blondie in it. Oh, Dagwood and Blondie. That's too funny. Especially when I just got a book out of an auction with Blondie and Dagwood. That's funny. Hello, my darling. I've got a moment here this afternoon, so I thought I'd write my wonderful honey. The afternoon mail hasn't come yet, and I didn't get any this morning. I doubt very much if any will come in the afternoon, because as of we don't have, come in the afternoon, because as a rule, if we don't get it in the morning, we don't get it in the afternoon. I'm going to eat early chow this evening as we have a volleyball game scheduled. The Marines on the other side of the hill. So it's Navy against the Marines. We'll probably get our blank beaten off, but it'll be fun. After the game, we're going to go down and watch the softball team play a game that will just about take care of the whole evening. So it's good I can write my honey now. I managed to get a letter off to Lee and the gang last night after I finished yours, 5 pages to you, but I still owe a bunch of letters. Seems like I'll never catch up. Talking about mail, I haven't heard from Don in a long time. Don's the one I have a picture of. I hope he's not so far down in the dumps that he won't write anymore. Oh me, a person acting as bad as Dorothy is acting as bad as the Japs. Oh, he's bad. Well, darling, the mailman just came back and no mail. Guess I'll close sweet and see if I can finish up my work and get to chow. Miss you awful much, Hump. Bye now. I love you, Bill. Next letter. Still no pictures of him and her. I wish I had just one. My darling. So 3 letters from you today, Hump, dated 19th and 2 on the 21st. I also finally heard from Don. He had his leave in Australia, but suppose he's already written you. Seems he had a swell time and said Aussie land is all it's cracked up to be. He also said he is sending you an Australian bracelet made out of Australian coins. I think it was real swell of him to remember you with a gift. But then who could forget you, or would? Nobody. No, Hump. I don't play on the basketball team. I played basketball twice, and it almost killed me. You know, it's been almost 7 years since I got out of school. Another thing to play on a team means taking most of your spare time to practice. It's not easy in any way. It take a hell of a lot of practice to get me in shape to play basketball in this climate or any climate as far as that goes. I continue to root for the team, play a little volleyball and ping pong, and let it go with that. So they're wearing whites and Vallejo. They must have changed uniform regulations to allow them to do it. When I was there, they said no. I think it's good because those blues sure got hot sometimes. That Dove dinner really sounds good, hun. We'll go hunting them ourselves when this blasted war is over. So they ate doves. Ugh. Another bird I love is quail. Now, quail and pheasant I haven't tried, but I heard they were good. Fact is, I love them all. So Bob is on a secret mission. Again, ha ha, what a laugh. I can't fully express my feelings in a letter, but I'll say that is really a bunch of bunk. It's a good thing there's only a small amount of people like that guy, or we would have surely lost this war a long time ago. So Peggy might get married. I hope she has a successful marriage if she does, but I sure can't see her for a wife. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope so. That will be swell of you. That'll be swell if you get a chance to go up to Grass Valley on your vacation if Vera is still there. Why don't you try and take your vacation soon while she is there? Because, hun, it's a swell chance for you to get to spend your vacation away from the city. I'm all for it. Must close now, dear. Miss and love you more and more each passing day. Lots of love and kisses, Bill. P.S. Glad to hear they're catching up with Connie. That you are catching up with Connie. Okay. Alrighty. We're down to like the last few. We got 3 left, Sandy. 3. Here's another Target paper. Aw, this one's got a puppy. That's got a doggy. Okay. So there's the ephemera part. Let's get to the letter. My dearest darling, just get back from the first show. I've been in about a week and a half. The picture was really good. The name of it is Fighting Lady. It's a real picture of an aircraft carrier in her planes. And I have been on an aircraft carrier. When my husband served in the Navy, for the people that don't know, I got to walk on the Coral Sea. And it was awesome. I have a picture somewhere. It was great. I've tried to see it before, but each time it was scheduled, something happens and they showed another picture. If you haven't seen it yet, hun, don't miss the next opportunity to see it. Sure is something out of the ordinary. They also had a hypnotist on the stage. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Army and was really good. He called 12 men up from the audience. He did a couple of tricks, then put them to sleep. One fellow was told he was fishing and sat down and tried to reel in the incoming fish. Another fellow was told it was real hot and the hypnotist suggests he take off his pants. He did. Another one he suggested write a letter to his wife. He did and was still writing when told to stop. It was really comical and very interesting. People are sure funny. I need your letter of the 20th. I read your letter. Gosh, I can't talk. I received, he abbreviated it. Your letter of the 22nd today, hun. Glad you finally heard from Dawn and also Al. It sure sounds like Al is in Okinawa. Do you know what outfit he's with? I hope he writes me soon, as I'm anxious to hear from him. So Peggy has her ring and is actually going to get married. Come on. For the life of me, I can't see her as married. Guess that's because she seems so young and acts that way. Gosh, but it doesn't seem that Susie's a year old already. She must be really cute the way you talk about her. I'm glad you go down and spend an occasional week with Nell. It's a good change for you, and I know Nell probably looks forward to you coming down. Well, darling, guess that's about all the dope for today. I still have a million letters to answer, but it seems like I never get enough time to write them. Guess I'll catch up someday. And in the meantime, I hope everybody will bear with me. Good night, my darling. Love you, Bill. Oh my goodness, we're down to the last two letters. Sandy, I'm gonna cry. Oh, there's Sandy. There's the other Sandy. There's our big mama Sandy. Oh, that'll be sweet. I love letters. They're awesome. I think I have another batch, but these ones are different. They're a guy I think that was in the military and single. I got them off of Penguin Boss, and I think it was ladies that wrote him in the military. I haven't read those ones yet. So I want to look those over though before I read them out loud. So here is another piece of ephemera of the Target. These little newspapers are cute. Like these little 2-pagers. Very cute ephemera. Next, we're down to the last two. Thank you, Dill. I love these letters. I really do. The old mailman let me down today, hun. Just wasn't any mail at all. Submarine outfit came down tonight or this afternoon, I should say. Anyway, they brought a volleyball team, basketball team, and baseball team. We sort of came out on the wrong end of things, too. We lost 2 out of 3 in the volleyball games. After winning the finished game, the basketball game was called at darkness with a score tied 3 apiece. Then we lost the basketball game by 2 points. Guess it just wasn't our day, but we'll probably be back and we'll get even with them, so help me. Tomorrow will be a busy day, being the last day of the month. Don't know where the month has gone, but glad it is. And it's 1 month closer to you, darling, and that's the most important thing there is. On the 11th now, hun, wonder how many I'll be out. Guess it depends mainly on how far we are along with this. After the big step is taken, we will probably know a lot better. Can't think of much more to say, sweet. Miss my honey so much it hurts. We'll close now, hump. All my love and kisses, Bill. And now we read the very last letter. And I'm crushed because I want these two to be forever. Never stop. I love their story. Okay. So here's the last letter. That I have. From the time they dated till they were married. And this is June 30th, 1945 on a Saturday. My dearest darling, my mailman failed me again, hun, but how did I get a letter from Lee today? She didn't have much new to say, but did mention that Elwyn wrote and told her that he could now say he had been off Okinawa for the past 2 months and now notes 2 stars in his ribbon. One for that battle and for, I don't know what that is. It looks like, I don't know if that's a IWOJINUA or I don't know. It must be a place. He has left that area now and tells Lee they still have high hopes of hitting the States by September, October. Anyway, now that he's supposed to say left, he's got leave. Left that area, there is a very, very good chance of my seeing him in the very near future. I'm going to keep my eye peeled, and when and if it pulls in, I'll be the first one aboard her. If I do see him, it will be Old Home Day. We had a personal inspection of 5 this evening, and I had to follow the skipper around and take notes. Oh, for the life of a yeoman. After chow and a shower, I went to the ball game. We lost 7-0. It was a tough game to lose because the team had won the other 2 league games. There was 2 real hot arguments on decisions of the umpire, which I enjoyed. Some of the playing really got worked up about it. More fun. And less people killed. Tomorrow I'm going on a fishing party. The skipper and about 7 of us are going to leave at about 07:45 in the morning. And what? And meet the boat the skipper and about 7 of us are going to leave at about in the morning and meet the boat something, the place we plan to fish. I think we're about due to catch some. Sure hope so. Well, my wonderful wife, guess I will close her now. Miss my honey awful much and love her to pieces. All my kisses, Bill. And that is it. And that's terrible because it's over. And I'm going to miss them. I got to go back and find the letter that it's got to be around in here. There's a letter. It's got two. I should have put it aside and I didn't. Darn it. It's got two negatives in it that I want to see if I can get them developed. I think it's a pictures of Bill. Remember when she talked in that one, he talked in that one letter about having that white spot on his chin? I think that's what those negatives are. And that will be so cool because I finally will get to see what Bill looks like. I only know what Don looks like. Don was a handsome young man. But I wish I had a picture of him and Elsie. Nope. It's not this pile. I know it's not in the airmail ones. It's in one of these ones. I'm going to try to shine my light on my phone under it to show you guys as much as I can of that particular negative. But we do have a really nice studio close to where I live. Come on. It's got to be this one. There it is. It's this letter. Let me see if I can get a light under these. Hold on. Let me hold my phone. I'm going to do this with the flashlight. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's not real clear, but it definitely is a picture of a man, and I see like palm trees. And then there's two guys in this one. I'm trying to show them best I can. Oh my gosh, this would be so cool. Looks like them on the island. It's as best as I can show it, Sandy. Can you see the two figures? But I'm going to see if I can get these developed. Look at this. You see a man standing. I'm going to see if I can get him developed. We shall see. Now, my husband knows I go live on Wednesdays. You know I go live on Wednesdays. Why are you sending me messages? Do you want to spank it when you get home? He's over here blowing up my phone and I have it muted. Thank goodness. Sandy, I'm giving Michael a spanking when he gets home. Jimmy! Yes, I do believe they're pictures of Bill, Sandy, but I'm going to see if I can get these developed. I mean, all I could do is ask. So I'm going to separate this letter from the rest. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 7th letter in the pile. But I'm going to take this out because I'm going to see if I can get those pictures developed. But I got to find out how much it's going to cost first. I'm not going to lose the letter. Silly woman. I'm going to put it in my purse. And I'm going to take it and have those two developed. See what happens. I got to find how much it's going to cost first. But I know a place I used to work for that develops pictures, and they're a nice studio, and I think they'll be able to do that. And here are all of the letters besides the other batch, so that people who have not seen them, these are how many I had, plus another envelope full of. I was so blessed to get these letters, and it's sad to say it's over. Hey, Kristen. Michael was on just a regular Coral Sea back in the 80s. That is so cool, isn't it? See, Michael's in here spying my hubby that's blowing up my phone and is going to get a spanking when he gets home. You know I'm live on Wednesday. Why are you blowing up my phone? You want a whipping? Yeah, he was on the Coral Sea. Tell them a little bit about your Navy experience, Mike. He got to go to Italy. We have pictures. I should bring out some of the pictures of the places that he got to see. I think he still has his you're so sweet too, Gemma. Thank you. She's so sweet. But I was blessed to get these letters at an auction. I am so tickled pink that I got all the letters he ever sent her. Yep, he's happy, Sandy. The Texas Roadhouse. He's like, yum, yum, yum. So I have all these letters in this bag, plus more downstairs from the same couple. And it was from him to her. It's too bad I don't have her letters to him. But this came out of a locker auction. And I'm so thankful they ended up in my hands, because could you imagine how many of these items have been in our landfill? And I'm so glad these ended up in my lab, because I'm going to cherish these letters. Because I love them. I love stuff like this. They're a piece of our history. And they are so great. And I'm going to take these. My husband, I got 2 negatives out of one of the letters. And I think they're of William. And I'm going to take them, and I want those turned into pictures. I don't know how much it's going to cost, but I'll ask. And we shall see. And I hope they turn out good. But like I said, there's a good photography place that takes like senior pictures and stuff here. And they've been in business for a long time, that I think they'll be able to give me pictures off of those. So we hope. All I can do is try. I just don't know how much it'll cost. But when we have a little bit of extra money, I will try to get those developed. I'm going to take them in first and get a ballpark of how much those will cost to be developed, and go from there. Because they've been exposed to light, so I don't know how good they'll be, but I can try. But like if you have a picture stuck to a picture frame, which I've had that happen before, they can fix all that. So they're a pretty good photography company. So we should. Oh, I'm sure Sandy, he likes his spankings. He'll probably turn his butt cheek and say, hit the other side. But yes, Michael was in the Navy in the 80s, and he was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia. And it was really cool. It was a very hot day, though. but it was very cool to see his ship pull in, and all of the guys were lined up around the ship with they're standing at attention and saluting as the ship pulled in. I don't know how long they had to stand that way, but it was beautiful to see. And I got to tour the aircraft carrier that held the planes. It was amazing. Like, it was huge. The only thing that I told him I couldn't understand, though, is if they had to run, because it's almost like the doorways were almost like submarine portholes. I said, how in the heck did you guys, run through those without busting your shins? And Mike said very carefully, because they were high up. And the only other thing I didn't like about the aircraft carrier besides that part was they had bunk beds and they had lockers, and the bunk beds were so close. I told them I'd be claustrophobic if I had to sleep in here, because they were very tight quarters. But it was interesting to tour the carrier. I don't like enclosed places, though. That's just me. I don't mind elevators, but just the way the beds were laid out, it was too close for me. I'd have been bouncing my head off of the bunk above me, being tall, because I'm 5'8", so I can only imagine what the guys felt like that were 6 foot in that places. But it is what it is. They had to deal with all that and being out to sea for months at a time. Oh, I don't know if I could handle it or not. But I wish I had the letters my husband wrote me, but I don't. Michael wrote me tons of letters when he was in the Navy. They had the naval heading, but everything went up in a fire. I lost everything. Diaries, letters. So I don't have them. I just got the pain in the ass mail. Wink, wink. Isn't it interesting how they name all the ships? USS Robert L. That's interesting. Oh, no, what, Dill? But I do have a really good picture of me and my husband, and he was in his Navy uniform. I actually have a picture of us together when he was decked out in his Navy outfit. He looks like Popeye the Sailor Man. No, Dill. It wasn't a house fire. It's a long story. But yeah. But we did lose a house in a fire, though. We lost our rental property in a fire. Me and my husband had bought a house. My sister was flipping, and we finished flipping it and turned into rental property. And the renter accidentally, what was her story, Mike? She put something in a toaster oven or something, or a toaster. I don't know. It caught on fire, but she was an EMT. She had like 5 kids, and I think only 2 of her kids were home that day. And the house caught on fire, and she panicked, but the flames took off really fast in the house. I just thank God they lived, because she said it was so weird how things happen. Because she said one of her kids kept wanting to go upstairs and get in a blanket. She said, I don't know why I told her not to. She says, but thank God I did, because when the fire took off, it flew up the steps. Her kid would have never made it. There's only one side of the house you could get out of up there. And it was crazy. Thank you, Sandy. I hope they did too. I wish I could find out more about them. And thanks for hanging in there, Sassy Sandy. You have sweet dreams, because I know she loved these letters. But yeah, we lost everything. But I think my renter took the house fire worse than we did, because yeah, we flipped it. We had money put into it, but my whole thing was I was thankful that nobody burned up in the house. I told her it's just a house. You know what I mean? Houses are replaceable. People are not. I would have died if her and one of the kids would have died in that house. So, but it's really cool going to her Facebook page because she had pictures of her kids doing cartwheels in the living room. Like we have before and after pictures where we flipped the house. And yeah, it was a loss, but I don't miss the neighborhood. I don't miss the location the house was in, but the house itself was fun to flip. I remember taking the kitchen cabinets down because they were Amish made. And I remember sanding them suckers for hours. And we repainted them and rehung them. We did a lot of work in that house. The before and after pictures of remodeling, but that part of it makes me sad because we did put a lot of work and a lot of money into that house. But like I said, I'm just glad that everybody lived and nobody got hurt. So that's how I felt about the fire. And she lost everything because she didn't have renter's insurance, but we had enough to pay for cleanup and all that. We had minimal fire insurance on that house. We didn't have like a bunch of money on the insurance, but it was enough to take care of the cleanup and all that happy crap. And then I took and saved what I could before cleanup. The basement was probably the only thing that wasn't as affected as the rest of the house was destroyed. But I got a hold of a bunch of her laundry and spent the day cleaning up as much clothes and blankets as I could find. And I went online and Googled, what would take the smoke smell out of stuff. And it said Era. What did I buy? Era and something else. I had white vinegar, but there was two ingredients. I can't remember, but I remember spending a whole entire day at the laundromat and I got 2 garbage bags full of clothes and blankets to take back to her and the kids that they didn't lose. But she was lucky because one of the EMT people she worked with, there was a fellow worker that had a death in the family. And after the kids picked over everything they wanted, they still had a kitchen table set and a washer and dryer and stuff left over. And when the community, that's one thing I love about our community is that when they found out that she was an EMT, people wanted to, get the clothes sizes of her clothes. And there was a lady who they used to go out and revive her husband. They literally gave her a house on a land contract. And the person who had a family loss let her have the rest of the furniture that was left over. So she told me herself, it's sad, she says, but I ended up with better items, after the fire because of the people that gave her stuff. So yeah, they made out okay. So I was glad that her kids and she was taking care of furniture and clothes wise and stuff. So that was good. But what killed me was the insurance. The fire insurance people were trying to pit us against each other. The guy calls me on the phone going, how do you know she's not going to sue you? I said, sue me for what? She started the fire as an accident. It wasn't like it was faulty wiring or something that we did. And I said, and we're not suing her either. I mean, she's a mother with 5 kids. She don't have any money. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Insurance company people are weird. They were trying to pit us against each other. And I asked the guy, why are you saying shit like this? This woman just had a tragedy of losing all her possessions, and we had a tragedy of losing our house. That's the last thing on my mind right now is to sue a person. People are weird. Take care, Haley. But I don't know. You just have weird people do stuff like that, trying to cause drama. So I don't know. But everything came out okay. You know what I mean? We dealt with it all. And then we had moved here, and when the house was still standing, so it's not like we didn't have a roof over our heads too. So everybody made out okay, and that's the important thing. Well, it's time for me to go too. And hopefully, I'll be able to finish the journal I started working on. I feel bad for the people who were following me doing a Christmas journal, but I have yet to finish that, which I plan on. But I got the flu and just a bunch of stuff happened. I didn't have a chance to finish things. So I want to get that done too. But as for now, the letters are done. So now we get back to crafting. Woohoo! And then I got to figure out what to do next December, because I try to have a variety on my channel, and I'm getting tired of Sunny Fun Time mails. I don't know about you guys, but I am. I finished uploading the rest of the Sunny Fun Time mails I had loaded, but I missed my bookstore. So I'm hoping I'll get back to my bookstore this year, because I still have a lot of books to go through and show people. And if they're interested in buying them, they want to, they can buy them. If not, they can look them up on their gadgets that they read on, because I'm the last chance for these books, and I'm going to try to find a home for them. I post them on Facebook and here, and then if they don't get bought, they get donated. So some I turn into crafting projects, and some I'm going to be donating. So that's what happens to the books. But I do miss my bookstore. And that's what my about section says anyway, is me reading synopsises. But I do try to keep this a variety channel, because that's what I like on this channel. Now, for those of you that don't know, I am about to launch a second YouTube channel, but that's a work in progress. I'm still not ready to launch it, but when I do, I will let people know that it's there. And you can add 2 people, because both channels, because they both will be active, and I will be visiting people on the second channel too. It's not going to be just a channel sitting there like a bot or something. It's going to have stuff on it, and it has no subscribers on it right now, but it's in the works. And because I wanted to do a second channel just to try it out, and then that's it. I'm like done with YouTube as far as this channel and that channel, but I'm not ready to launch it just yet. I want to get some videos on it first. So we shall see. But I probably won't go live on that channel, at least not right now. It's just going to be all videos on that one. But the YouTube algorithm is messed up, and there's a lot of people who are not getting noticed. A lot of people are leaving and going to Patreon because they want to get paid. Me, I could care less. YouTube to me is a hobby, but I do miss doing my live sales, and I hope I'll get back into that at some point too, but I just haven't had the time. And make the time. Yes, very busy when I'm not sick, Dill. I'm just tired of sickness is slowing me down. But hopefully we shall see. But I do like the second channel's name. It doesn't have Tammy in it. It's just a cute name. I was actually surprised it wasn't taken. But I got a Facebook page in Limbo to match it. And I also have a Etsy store with the same name to match it too. So it's going to be 3 different places that matches the new channel. And then I got 2 Etsy stores, and they're sitting empty. So I got to get busy with those too. So yeah, 2023 is going to be busy for me. I'm not busy yet, but I will be busy, because I got to get some stuff in my Etsy stores here pretty soon, or they're going to give up on me. It's just finding the time. So, anyways, thanks to everybody for hanging out with me this evening. And this was fun sharing these World War II letters with you all. And now I'm going to go love on my puppy. And I will see you guys later. Mwah. Bye.